Dan,
Brad,
good to see you, mate.
you too, mate.
Back again in the studio this week.
Back again.
And we've got another guest.
Another guest.
Really exciting. So we've got another local from Worcester. It's Joe, who I'm going to let introduce himself in just a sec. Joe is somebody that I met through a masseuse that you recommended to me.
Oh, did I?
You recommended Nick.
I didn't know that.
You did.
I mean, I do now.
Oh, yeah. So it must be like an agony aunt thing. So we're, she's massaging, my calves and I'm telling her all my woes and Joe's clearly doing the same. She's like, you two should hang out.
Yeah.
And that's how this romance was born. So, but yeah, Joe, if you wanted to do, I thought a good place to start would be just a very quick background on you.
Yeah.
And then I want to dive into your app development, which I think is really interesting for our listeners today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no worries. So I won't start at the very start because we'll be here for a lot of time. So I'll start, I guess, kind of where my journey starts. So for me, I was in the army before I'm doing what I did now. I guess it's quite funny, really, because I've always had this, experience with caffeine. Ever since I can remember, I've been drinking caffeine, and that's pretty wild because my parents used to give me tea before I went to bed, loads of sugar, a cup of tea. I probably
How old were you?
4 or 5 years old.
Tea at 4?
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Classic British. It's quite British.
Yeah.
Though,
Yeah.
It's quite British.
But it's just unknown, right? That's the problem. So I have an experience at school, as you can imagine, with an upbringing and stuff. So I go through the whole school thing, and school doesn't really work out. I guess is to summarise.
Maybe you never slept, mate.
No, yeah, I think that was the problem. To be
What I
honest,
mean?
I think a big problem with me in school was
They didn't have any coffee.
yeah, there was probably that element in there, but then there was also lack of context and just not really being that interested. So like every good burnout, I decided to join the army.
Nice.
So,
I like it. Good start.
Straight away.
I'm in.
I didn't have the grades to do any of the courses at sixth form that I wanted to do, so straight into the infantry as
I love
a
it.
young 17-year-old. I go and join the Army Foundation College in Harrogate, 17 years old, and within the first couple of weeks, and I think I want to tell my injury story before we get onto the caffeine and clarity stuff.
Okay.
Because I had a particularly bad experience with let's say shin splints. And yeah, we know this is a bit of a misnomer, right? Because shin splints are pretty much a catch-all term, and it does get a lot worse. So anyway, I joined the Army Foundation College at 17. I say within the first few months, I started getting this pretty bad shin pain. And, I don't know if you spoke to any squaddies before, but if you tell anyone that you've been injured or sick.
Crack on, mate.
Yeah. Oh, crack on.
On.
That's just the mindset, right? There's absolutely no
sympathy.
No
sympathy, get it sorted. I remember going to tell the platoon staff when because I came up with crutches because they thought it was a stress fracture at the time. And straight away, we swear.
Yeah.
What the fuck have you done? Why the fuck have you done that? And I'm like, well, roger that.
Pretty sure it was you did to me.
Yeah. So, that was kind of my first introduction to this injury. And, it's weird because I'd say I probably started training around 14. That's when I first started going to the gym. So the old city gym, I used to go there with my sister's ex-husband. They were both ultra runners, so they ran all the time. My sister still does. I'm not sure if he does, but I actually ran my first half marathon. My first half marathon was probably about 15 years old across the Malvern Hills.
I mean, how you got those shin splints? I just have no idea.
Just,
Honestly,
what's crazy? They didn't start flaring up until the army, and I think it was just because I was
boots in the load and
But what people don't realise, especially about basic training, so when you join junior entry in the army, you have to do 12 months of phase 1, and because I was going to an infantry battalion, I did 12 months of phase 1 at Harrogate, and phase 1 is like, it's not necessarily like the movies, but it's like they're on you all the time, like locker inspection every day, you're getting thrashed about. So
you're just learning the ropes.
Yeah, I mean, indoctrinated is the term.
Indoctrinated.
Yeah, that is the bottom line. Yeah. And you do get in that mindset, as I've already said. It was like do not give up, all that good stuff. Which is actually fairly detrimental, but we'll get onto that. So I have this experience, and I get into training, and I think I'm fairly fit. So I go down the line while I'm in training to try and get my legs fixed. So the whole time, they're diagnosing me with MTSS or shin splints, and this goes on for, I'd say probably about 2 months while I'm in training, but it's not long enough for me to be back squadded. So I just essentially go back to my platoon and crack on. Still got the pain, right? But
Got to crack on,
crack on. So I eventually, I'm in the mindset of like, I'll finish the year, I'll go to Catterick, I'll spend, the 3 months there, I'll get training out the way, and then I'll go to battalion. I'll get it sorted. Wow. So, so within, I don't know, I think it's about 12 months of going to battalion. We did a couple of back-to-back deployments and then straight to the Falklands. That was a good old time.
Christ.
And that's, I don't really believe in the fact that, I think mentally we can do absolutely anything. I truly do. But physically, there is absolutely...
there's a point. You just can't carry on,
And physically for me, I've never got to the point where I have collapsed and I've tried. We were going up the side of one of a mountain, and we had a tracer ban out on the training area, so we couldn't fire any of the tracer rounds. They just light up. It's like Star Wars, just because it was so dry. So the whole exercise, my kit wasn't getting any lighter. I had the machine gun, and I remember going up the side of one of the hills, and I remember distinctly my left spinal erector completely locked up, and I was holding my breath, trying to pass out. And I just couldn't. And I was just crying. Honestly, it was the worst pain.
Quite an effort, that is.
Oh, yeah. I was committed to just...
that sort of survival instinct in you was just like, nope, I'm staying alive.
Holding my breath.
So out of a whole rifle company, I think we had 19 blokes go down and get airlifted off the training area because it was just brutal. And that's their summer. Nice. So it was just going man down.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. It was a good old time. So
you're in a good shape then, Joe. Yeah, you're not battered at all from this experience. I can tell.
Well, yeah. We'll get onto that. So my career goes on anyway, and I have various points, and I'd say towards the latter end of me getting out of the army, I actually do start to become quite obsessed with this injury now because it's just been going on for so long.
Yeah.
And that's typically where I met Nikki for the first time. So I've tried. If there's something out there to treat shin splints, I've tried it, like absolutely everything. I've done, soft tissue mobilization. I even did the sports massage course to try and help myself. Everything that you can do in terms of nutrition, they always say that dialing your nutrition, like it was dialed. Sleep, I've come off, I've stopped drinking alcohol for a period of time.
Tried rest?
Oh, from impact I did for a while. So that's when I got into, I've done loads of watt biking. I never got into actual cycling. I've done a lot of watt biking. I've always lifted. I started with the standard bro split, but then eventually I started getting into strength and conditioning, and that's kind of where my heart was. I just really enjoyed that, and then I started getting into the slower aerobic capacity stuff. I did a fair bit of swimming. And that was all essentially just managing my injury because, I couldn't do anything impact.
Yeah.
I was doing impact. That's the problem. PT in the morning, you do impact. But I was trying to manage it around. So I typically train twice a day, 5 days a week. And then Saturday, I'd go for a walk or something on Sunday. So I've overtrained my whole life is the bottom line, right? Yeah, overtrained my whole life. So I come towards the end of my career, and I say, I didn't realize it was going to be the end of my career at the time, but I'm here. I'm going to get my legs sorted, and then I'm just going to crack on and do the full service. So I start going down the route of researching everything myself, starting to understand that MTSS or medial tibial stress syndrome is essentially just a catch-all term for if you've got pain on your shin, this is what it is. It doesn't really mean anything. And even shin splints, you'll hear people say shin splints all the time. And I actually say to them, well, what do you actually mean? Because it could be anything. And a lot of the time it's muscular, that they're saying there.
A lot of the time it is.
Yeah. But mine was actually on the bone. And I thought it was stress fractures because of how painful it was.
Yeah.
Never had one. I've had, I think, 3 or 4 MRIs, never had a stress fracture.
But the pain is significant enough.
Yeah, I mean, I still...
Out of 10, how was the pain?
Oh, mate, I couldn't do my boots up.
Shit.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was real bad to the point where obviously you wear like ankle boots in the army. So I didn't used to do my boots up. What I'd do was undo them and I'd roll the socks down over the top. So my socks were keeping my boots on until we had to do something. And then I'd just smash ibuprofen gel on it and crack on. Yeah. I mean, but that's the mindset of the army, right? So I go through the process to start going to get this treated, and it was an offhand conversation with one of my mates. So here's another little escapade that I went down during lockdown. We did 5K of walking lunges around like a 100-meter football pitch. So
why?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw someone do I saw someone do something similar on Instagram, and it was like a lockdown challenge, but it was like 250 meters, and that's not hard.
That's boring.
Yeah. That's not hard.
Why not do more?
Yeah, so, me and my mate, he's fairly similarly minded, so we did it. I think it was like 3.5 hours in the end, and it was...
I've been sort of back and forth during this conversation so far, with sympathy, then I retract that
sympathy. There's no sympathy, mate. No. So don't have any sympathy.
I feel sorry for this guy.
Where are we today?
Then I did 5K, and I'm like, idiot.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I'm with you. I mean, that unfortunately was my mindset for just years, because it was always came back to, especially for myself, was just being weak. You just need to, you need to crack on. You need to get it sorted. Yeah. So, as I was saying, I go down this route of trying to get my legs fixed, and it was an offhand conversation with him around that time. I think it was just after we'd done it. He said, it's probably compartment syndrome. It might be compartment syndrome. And I was like, nah, that's way too serious for me. It's not that. I just completely offhand. And I can't remember how I got back to it again, but I was talking to one of the physios, and typically when you have MTSS, they test your calf strength, don't they? Calf strength, calf endurance. So I'm doing these single leg calf raises, and I'd say around 15, my leg was so pumped, like all around essentially, I just couldn't do anything. I'd have to get down, I'd have to stand there for a minute. And I kept saying to them, you've put me on these walk run programs. I've done the Alt G, which is the zero gravity treadmill, and my legs just fill up, my lower leg that is, and I can't, I've got no control of my feet or anything like that. It's just like disregarded. I go through another MRI, and I'm on rehab and all that stuff. And I just keep saying, I'm telling you, it's compartment syndrome. So they booked the test for compartment syndrome. I'd say that's probably about 6 months into me trying to get this fixed, and they come back and say, we can't test you yet because the parts are stuck in Belgium because of Brexit, right? So it's the machine, and I'm saying to them, look, I'll do anything at this point. I'll pay for it myself. And the army are like, no, we can't do this. So I, start to become, I'm getting left behind when the lads going away. So it's not a good time, especially because if you're not fit in the infantry, there's just nothing to do.
There's nothing to do.
Unfortunately, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Of course it does.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't march, then
yeah. So at the time, it was kind of woe is me, and it was a pretty rough time. But I decided to leave the army anyway. Apply for a job, get it, and I'm going through the process of leaving. There's absolutely no end in sight for me going to Stamford Hall, which is the Army Rehabilitation Centre, to go and get this test done. So I, go through the whole process. I leave battalion on the Wednesday, completely dekitted. I'm out the army now. I've got probably 3 weeks leave, and I start my new job. On the Thursday, I'm on the treadmill in Revolution, just warming up, and the MRC Stamford Hall called me and said, we've got the parts in now, you can come in Monday to have the test done. And I just had to leave the gym, I was just like, I can't believe this. I can't believe just the way things have panned out.
Yeah.
So eventually I do go to Stamford Hall. They put so it is a catheter. I've been told that that's not what a catheter is. It is a catheter. So they put the pressure probes in the front of your leg, in the very front of your shin. And they said I'd failed the test before I'd started it. So with the probes in my leg, just being lay on the bed, I was way over the pressure, and I started doing the test, and I just feet slapping the floor. It was chronic exertional compartment syndrome. So eventually, I think not last year, the year before, I have surgery for that. So fasciotomy, bilateral fasciotomy. So
what is that? So
essentially, compartment syndrome, for people that don't know, essentially the fascia on the lower part of your leg is too tight. So everything's encapsulated. The calf essentially acts as a pump, doesn't it? So
it's like a heart of the leg.
Yeah, exactly. So my calves didn't do that. So
just
all the blood, just fills up. It was hard to see. If I had socks on, you'd see this like huge bulge in my leg.
It's like a water retention look almost. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So they always felt really full, but I think what was happening is there's so much pressure in my leg that it was presenting as MTSS. And if you look into it, it can present.
Yeah, like a normal physio would just be like shin splints, mate. Yeah,
exactly. But it was a bit of cat and mouse syndrome, is because I think I always had compartment syndrome, and that meant I couldn't ever train my calves to the strength and endurance that they required. Because even now, every session starts with calf training, and they're still a little bit, I'm slowly reintroducing running. I'm probably 2 years post-surgery, and I'm slowly getting there. But yeah, I go through this whole route. I have surgery, so that they essentially just open my legs up, release the fascia. I probably have about 6 weeks where I can't walk, and then I slowly start getting back into it, and I have to completely start again. But I mean, like everything, there's a lesson to be learned. You can push through anything, but should you? And I think in my case, it's just absolutely not the case.
It is quite a rare case.
Yeah,
I don't know how many. Do a lot of people get compartment? I mean, it's the first I've really heard.
I've never heard of it, to be fair.
So it's typically impact sports that get compartment syndrome.
Okay.
So there's acute compartment syndrome.
Yeah.
You get it a lot in rugby. It's like I think trauma occurs under the fascia, and then you get that blood pool in and it starts swelling.
Okay, cool. So it needs that impact. Yeah. Okay.
So it's not a genetic thing. It literally could be.
But I had exertional compartment syndrome. So I think
it's all that tea.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Has it got any correlation to the nutrition at 4?
To the tea.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, growing up, we joke about the tea, but that was like baseline. I was like smashing, I don't know, 2 litre bottle of Coke or whatever. But it's just
just what you do as a kid.
They're just
Coke's got caffeine in it, right?
Yeah, it's 200 milligrams in a 2 litre bottle of Coke.
Yeah, I expect you to know this.
Yeah,
stuff.
well,
we're going to go into that in a bit.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm well versed on the sources at the moment, but I leave the army anyway, and I start getting into programming because I've still got this itch that I need to prove something, or I need to be someone, or I need to do something. So I leave the army, and right, let's start a business. So I'm going to learn to code. I'll build an app, and then
no chill out time.
No, of course not. No, I don't do that. But I actually started learning to code while I was still in the army. So when I left the army, those 3 weeks, I was just all day, every day
coding.
Learning to code. So no chill out time whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, I go down this route of I'm going to build an app, and then I'll run some ads, and that's it. I'll be a trillionaire by Friday, and
sounds very Del Boy.
Very reasonable, of course, of course. But obviously that's not how things work, and I've learned that lesson now. So I did build a web app with a mate of mine. It was called Crack the Code. It was essentially helping people study programming. Because there's a lot of courses on there that will teach you programming, but the actual syntax and the concepts, there's not much in terms of studying. So we go down that route, and then eventually I decided to go it alone. I started to learn iOS app development because that's a completely different language. So just building apps specifically for iOS. And once you learn the concepts and the fundamentals of programming, it's easy. It's easier. There's you just change the syntax, then you have to learn. Maybe there are some differences between the programming language itself. Maybe it's a different paradigm, but ultimately it's the same thing.
And this leads you to Clarity, which is what I mean. I think it's going to provide a lot of interest for our listeners. I guess what I'd like to know, and so if you were going to elevate a pitch Clarity, I want you to do that for me in a second, so that everyone listening gets a full grip of it, and then talk us through why people should use it.
Yeah, of course. So Clarity Caffeine and Focus is the app I've built. Underlying everything that I've just said was this idea that you can just push through anything, right?
Yes.
So when I'm going to when I'm training, I'm always there like, I'll just add more because more is better, right? You don't need to do anything. And what's quite funny is I get into this mental performance and focus and programming, and I'm applying the same caffeine strategy to my training that I was to focus. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to drink 2 cans of Monster and sit down and focus, but it doesn't go well, right?
I would just need a wee. I mean,
it's a lot of liquid.
I drink a lot of water anyway, so that is an issue. But I mean, I'm there. I think, right, I'm going to get into this like focus stuff. I'm going to start learning. I'm going to be a programmer. So just smashing caffeine so I can just get through these long work blocks. I was getting up quite early, so I was probably up at 4. I'd do 3 hours, and then I'd crack on for the day and probably do another 2 or 3 before bed. So, I was putting the shift in. Yeah. And all the time just smashing caffeine. So when I get onto learning iOS app development, I thought, there are a few caffeine trackers out there, but they don't necessarily answer the so what's. So tracking in isolation, like data when it comes to training, is essentially pointless, right? Unless you can answer the so what's to that data, it's just obsolete.
Yeah, and it needs to be sensible for people like me who are thicky dum-dums who don't know what things mean.
Well, the problem is you know, it's too subjective, and that's what I find with training data, stuff like HRV and my sleep score, is that I will look at it and be like, no, I don't just want to look at it. I want to be able to take something away from it and be like, right, what do I need to do tonight to fix this? I know it's not typically a micro scale, it's more macro, but you know, what can I do with this? And that was kind of the philosophy around drinking caffeine, because, you know, a lot of products are just very generically dosed. I mean, coffee is what it is. You know, it's typically averages around 60 milligrams for a shot of espresso, and that's fairly standard. But then you get energy drinks and pre-workouts and soft drinks where it's just completely wild, to be honest. And now that I've gone down this route and completely immersed myself in everything, we only seem to be adding more caffeine to products, which is...
Yeah, but it's because you get the crash, then you want it back, then you get the crash, then you want it back, and it's
the tolerance, right?
Yeah. So, well, it's marketing.
Yeah.
It's selling. They just want to sell. So.
I mean, like with any cheap to produce product that's extremely addictive, why not just add more?
Closer to you, Joe.
Yeah. That's all right.
Just losing your audio a little bit.
My bad. It's
because
I'm getting excited now.
That's absolutely fine.
Trying to get animated.
Feedback in the ears, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, I go down this route anyway of building Clarity, and I mean, compared to where it started to where it is now, I mean, you saw the app when it first took off.
Absolutely.
We made absolutely, you know, no use of the screen real estate on the home screen. It was just a number, whereas now it's very data driven. You know, you can see, you know, the current caffeine that's active, and it's all based on a half-life model of 5 hours. I mean, something I'm trying to figure out at the moment is how do we map half-life to the individual, because some people's half-life could be, you know, a lot faster. Some people do process caffeine a lot quicker, and some people are a lot slower. I would say I'm particularly sensitive to caffeine, and I metabolize it a lot slower. So, I mean, I have to be very strict on caffeine intake, to the point where I've actually taken a couple of weeks off.
Oh, what, completely withdrawn?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not fun.
It's like coming off heroin or something, isn't it? Like,
I mean, it is when you've been drinking it since you were like 4 years old.
That's what I'd associate taking caffeine. It's heroin, caffeine. I mean, they're like basically the same.
Yeah. I mean, it was eye-opening for the first couple of weeks, because they say, you know, when you stop drinking it, you're going to feel essentially ill. And I did feel pretty ill. But as I said, you know...
How much would you have drank a day, then?
In milligrams, I guess, yeah.
Anywhere from 400 to I not crazy, and I would say probably 650, 700.
Yeah, I mean that's on the high side.
What would you drink, Dan? Caffeine per day? Do you know?
Probably similar.
650.
So what's that? That's like more like 4 max. I'll have 3 coffees max. So that's like averaging about 120 grams each. Like 2 shots milligrams, really. Yeah, it's like 2 shots of caffeine. But then it changes on the bean, and you know it's very different, isn't it?
And the extraction process.
Yeah, I mean most of the time I use just coffee from a bean.
I actually know a coffee that talks specifically about its caffeine content. Protein coffee. Yeah. You drink that every day, don't you, Dan?
Absolutely every day.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Morning and night. I drink it 4 times a day religiously.
Yeah.
Fantastic for recovery, Dan. Yeah.
Can't you tell?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the reason I guess we stayed in contact is because A1 Physique is in, especially the protein coffee is in the app. You know, you guys are the featured brand. It's a great product. It aligns with what we're doing at Clarity. We're trying to surface products that are going to align with what our users want to do. And essentially, you know, I think brands and products should be spotlighted for knowing their caffeine content, because, you know, like the supplement company as a whole, it can get a little bit murky out there.
Yeah, like, why is there this much in this? Yeah. For what reason?
Yeah, exactly. For what reason? And a lot of them won't answer or can't answer. And
like, why do Red Bull put, like, it's about 120? Maybe no, more than that. It's got to be more than that.
It's high, isn't it?
Yeah, Red Bull's like maybe like close to 200.
I'm not sure on Red Bull, but I know Monster's 140. And weirdly, the orange one is the only one that's got 150.
Like, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why? Like, why 150? Like, what? Because it's 3 shots of caffeine?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it? I feel like it's in some ways like a drug in that respect. It kind of is
like
it is
a drug.
Addiction.
It's a stimulant, yeah. I mean, it was on the ban list at one point for sport. Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Too much was on the ban list, yeah.
How would you test for too much caffeine?
It's in your blood.
But what I mean is, surely at the end of the race, it's lots of it's gone, right?
Technically not.
No.
Technically, the feeling is gone because you've released a lot of other hormones. So you do metabolize it faster because you have exercised, but it would have to be like a marathon or something. But then you got to be a moron if you take 700 milligrams of caffeine before a marathon, because 90 minutes in, something's probably going to happen.
Didn't you tell me that story? Was it Alex who did that? Did he bonk where he'd had that conversation with the Norwegians about taking caffeine?
Sam Laidlow, yeah. Basically, they just kind of played up to him a little bit on how much caffeine you can have. I think he smacked 500 grams of caffeine, and on the run, he was just needs to go to the toilet all the time. So for a shorter event, you can get away with it, and that's why you put on the ban list, because it's a stimulant. It takes away pain. It nullifies, it takes away your nerve receptors for like tiredness and stuff. So if you take enough of it, you could float for a 5k.
Really?
Yeah. Some of the research is quite compelling on what caffeine can actually do for you, but what's interesting is most of the benefits aren't for the habitual user. It's for people that use caffeine like here and there. So, if you're constantly resetting your tolerance, then you get a lot of the benefits. But, if you drink it daily, less so. And that's quite interesting because most of us are habitual caffeine drinkers, It typically takes around 4 to 7 days to reset your baseline. And that's this idea of a caffeine reset.
I ain't about that life.
No. It takes some discipline.
Well, when they go into the jungle, I'm a celeb, sorry, this is a little bit of a tangent off, but it's real life stuff. They have to detox from coffee and tea in there as well.
Well, they just do, because they can't have it.
What a risk, though, to put people in front of a camera. Like,
do you not think they do that for a reason, though?
What?
It's make them irritable.
Make them irritable.
Oh, no, but I would be a nightmare.
Yeah, me too. If someone gave me £100,000 to go sit in the jungle, I'd be so annoyed.
Oh, mate, he's honestly such a negative Nance.
That's not negative. I'm just saying, I mean, who cares if you're given £100,000 to come off caffeine? Would you do it? No.
No, I would. I'd just be a nightmare.
I bet there are a lot of people that couldn't manage it. The one thing I find with Clarity,
I don't know. I do quite a lot of stuff for 100 grand.
Yeah,
let's not get into that. It's a podcast on its own.
You were saying before, though, that you think you're on the high side. I mean, some of the people I've spoke to, you're a moderate.
That's
you're moderate.
Fair. Yeah, that's
moderate.
What's worst case scenario, Joe?
Oh, my mom is she was drinking well over a gram a day. She was like, well over a gram every single day.
This is the same woman that gave her 4-year-old son tea.
No messing. We're going straight for the big numbers. That's great.
She was sending me screenshots of her using Clarity, and obviously that's mega, right? Your mom's using your app.
Sorry, son, I've broke the app.
I broke the record.
Clarity's just called an ambulance for me, Joe. Is that right? Is that normal?
Completed it.
Yeah, I actually put a post out about it saying, it's a good feeling when it helps people, right? Because ultimately that is the purpose. The idea of the caffeine reset is to get people out of this loop where they spend all week in, I guess, like fight or flight, because they're smashing caffeine, their cortisol's so high, they don't understand about delaying it in the mornings, their sleep's terrible, they can't make up for the reduced quality in sleep with quantity, which is what people typically do, until they get to the weekend and then they just crash. So that was kind of my mindset of like, well, I guess that's kind of how I lived. I just didn't crash on the weekends. I'd just carry on. And then I'd have this like every few months, I'd just have a weekend where I couldn't do anything. It was really weird.
Just completely almost spent.
Yeah, it'd be good to actually find out what this is, to be fair, Dan. So I'd have a nap, and I'd wake up in the nap like full body sweat, heart just pumping. I don't know if you've
heroin.
Yeah, that's heroin. Withdrawals or during. Mate, it was crazy, honestly.
No way. No, never heard about anything like that with caffeine. You think that's linked to caffeine?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Drinking a lot.
I mean, what's a lot?
600-700 milligrams.
It's varied, to be fair. I mean, I'm pretty good because I know how sensitive I am. So I'll say 2 cans of Monster, and maybe people are like, oh my God, but that's like, 280, 280 milligrams. It's not actually that much.
But is that one after another?
No, I'd spread them out.
Yeah, so that's not crazy. Good. But then would you do anything to, like if I tend to take caffeine on, it's before training. So the next caffeine intake will probably be before training again. Yeah. So I've trained, I've relaxed, I've chilled,
stimulant train,
and then go again. Yeah, stimulant train, which is kind of just what you want anyway.
This podcast is now proudly sponsored by Crew Barber in Worcester on Trinity Street. The owner, Nikki, possibly Worcester's fastest barber, does great cuts. Dan's been a customer and myself for many years. Book now via Booksy and give him a follow on Instagram. So you had an impact on me, Joe.
Yeah.
A little bit. Dan has a huge impact on me. Don't get jealous. But what I'm saying is, the more I understand about caffeine, I'm somebody probably like yourself. The way I've understood you today, you get some new information and you take that information and utilize it to better.
Yeah.
So I understand about caffeine half-life and the importance of sleep. So we talk about sleep, don't we, a lot. For me, it's been an issue. So typically I would have, I've got a very sort of regimented routine with coffee. So in the morning, I'd wake up and have a coffee straight away. So 5:20 in the morning, something like that. My wife calls it autism. I just call it nice habits. Yeah. And then one at 9:30. And then if I
get the same comments, honestly.
Yeah. She's like,
what is going on? Why are you with these people? I just make a coffee.
Yeah. I do wait the 20 minutes to try and let, my body actually wake up before I shut coffee down. But I would normally have, because I've got a very high stress job, 3:30 p.m. I might have another coffee because I need to pick up for that final meeting. I've binned it based on Clarity in the app, mate. Yeah. So I thought what we could do is a bit of an exercise. You might like this.
That is case by case. Yeah. I find it's different.
The 3:30 thing.
Yeah. Like some people can't take it on board. Yeah. I do. Yeah. Like I can have
3:30.
I can have my latest coffee at like 6 p.m.
Yeah, you might be a fast metabolizer.
But that is again around training.
6 p.m.
And what time do you go to bed typically?
Varies.
Varies.
Yeah,
7 p.m.
10.
So I'm the same as Brad, to be fair.
10 a.m.
I'm like clockwork every single day. I do this at this time. I'm that at that time.
Are we because of that? And if you deviate, do you feel like that could be more your subconscious that is telling you things? So I don't deep it. If I want a coffee hit for my training, I don't even think about the sleep thing. I don't even. It's never crossed my mind because if you do let it hit your psyche, it makes a big difference. I'm not saying it doesn't affect you. Don't give
person to person, maybe.
Case by case, can do. But I feel like if you do then put, and that is person to person, you guys putting a thing on it is still person to person. It doesn't mean I'm not saying you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But that is affecting you. And if you do deviate from that, then it does affect your sleep. Because I don't deep it, there's a chance that actually I just go to sleep.
Even if you're a standard metabolizer of 5 hours and you have a coffee at 3, I mean, you're probably good. It's around 60 milligrams at 8, and then if you go to bed a little bit later, maybe you're about, and they say 50 milligrams is probably safe for sleep. So you're probably okay.
But I'll have like
quad espresso.
120. It depends what session it is, mate. Like if it's a track session, I'll be smacking. I mean, if it's a hard bike and I know I need to do it later, I'll be whacking. Tonight, I've got a bike session to do. Yeah. I was meant to do it before the podcast, didn't. So I'll be doing it tonight. I will have a double espresso before I do that bike session. Because I know it's hard, but that'll be at 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock. And then I'll hit it and I probably won't go to bed till 10. But I'll probably sleep well.
But again, that still only puts you at your bedtime. That still only puts you on about 60 milligrams.
This is actually, you're right good there. And I've actually trained.
Yeah.
So I've probably sped it up even more.
Yeah.
Potentially.
The other thing to consider is the accumulative effect. Like, what have you drank throughout the day? Because obviously,
much.
That's it. If it was just that at 5, then you're probably good.
Well, I don't know. I actually say that, but I think actually because if that was the only one, I'd be buzzing. Yeah, because I'll have gone all day. I
think how good your session would be.
Yeah, I know.
And that's kind of the point of the app, right?
Yeah. It was true because it's then case by case, how you're getting on, what's going on. But that's true. Like everyone's different. I think that's why it's good to throw that in there. If you two are too similar, then like actually,
we're just sensitive souls, mate. That's what we're just trying to put it out there. We're actually asking. This is a cry for help. Well, I thought what I could do is make this real life. Yeah. So I've got my app usage here. Yeah. So you can talk us through these numbers if you like. Yeah. So you've got current boost 100%. Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm going to pretend that I understand all this, but what I was looking forward to is you explaining this to us today. Yeah. Active caffeine, 75 mg, and then bedtime impact, 29.
Yeah, so that'll be, the 100% boost effect. So typically it takes around, 30 minutes. Again, it varies. This is all based off, I guess, average and half-life model of 5 hours. But
yes.
Typically it takes 30 minutes for caffeine to hit its peak effect. Yep. Now, if you want to time it for a workout or you want to time it for, as I call it, a deep work session, I obviously want to get the peak effect of caffeine. So for me specifically, if I was going to do something like a deep work block and I want to use caffeine caffeine for its effects on focus, then what I do is drink my espresso, log it in the app, and then I'd probably sit around and maybe do a little bit of focus-based meditation. Obviously, it's a very focus-based meditation as opposed to like mindfulness or something. Wait until the full effect of caffeine's there and I get the full benefit. Because typically what I do, let's take a Saturday for example, I'd probably do a couple blocks of around 2 to 4 hours of just working, right? Like a hacking or programming, whatever you want to call it. So yeah,
hacking.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess kind of the informal term of programming. But what I do is,
it?
I always
thought that was a bad thing.
No.
Okay.
It's
Joe works for Anonymous.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Typically, what you do, or what I would do, is I've been drinking a lot of half calf, so I can have a double espresso for only 60 milligrams of caffeine, but then just have more of them. So I do like every 2 hours, 60 milligrams of caffeine, and that would just sustain me as opposed to having a monster at the start.
It's really popular in America, isn't it?
Microdosing.
Half
calf, really.
Yeah, half
calf. I was today years old when I found out what half.
Oh, mate, it's really good.
Oh, mate, it's just like asking for one shot.
So if I buy a cookie and eat half it,
is the second. You couldn't do that.
Okay.
When you do it, is 1/2 decaf and 1/2 caffeine, or is it just one shot?
It's the first one.
Yeah.
1/2 is caffeine, 1/2 is decaf.
Yeah.
So it's a double shot, but only half of it is caffeine. Yeah. So 60 milligrams for.
So you get like the consistency and the flavour.
That was the problem. I liked the coffee and I wanted more of it, but I didn't want that amount of caffeine.
It's just so warm.
Yeah, it's just good.
Lovely.
It's just good, and there's obviously it's more than just blocking adenosine, right? It's the dopamine effect. It's making you feel good. And
when I go to bed on a Thursday, because I know that I'm not at work on a Friday,
I love bad stories.
I go to bed and I tuck myself in. And
we need a warning on this part.
You might need a tissue after, But like, I tuck myself into bed, I bring the DV up, and I have a little giggle to myself, like, I'm gonna have a nice coffee in the morning. I genuinely have that moment where I'm like, I'm gonna have, because I've got a Sage Barista Pro, so I just have a nice homemade latte, double shot.
Sounds great, mate.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've all got our luxuries in life, okay? Yeah. Mine is my morning coffee.
It is, mate. It's good. I mean, me being the founder of Clarity, I would say try delaying it a little bit.
Okay.
Even longer than the 20 minutes.
Yes.
Please just don't wake up.
Yeah.
I think so. For full context, the reason I have one at 5:20 is I train at 6.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
But on a Friday, for example, I'll get up, feed my daughter, we'll have a whole morning, and then I'll have a coffee a few hours after waking up, to be fair. So.
And that's kind of, that's the other thing that Clarity's been built for, is there's this ideal person, right, that can, I read another big influence on the app was Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I don't know if you've read that book, but essentially he breaks down all the available research on sleep and just makes it, popularly available. It's really good, really interesting. But essentially, he talks about this ideal person that goes to bed at the same time every night. They live in essentially a bat cave that's super cool, and they don't have an alarm. I mean, how many people actually live that life? I mean, I guess there's probably some billionaires out there that don't have a wake up time. But
there is that one geezer, isn't there, that's trying to reverse his age.
Yeah. Brian Johnson, is it?
That's it. He looks a little bit like a vampire.
Yeah, he's super scary. And I mean, if I don't know if you've seen any of the meals he eats, he does that OMAD, 1 meal a day, and he'll eat like one meal of just like pure veg, like
I would be bored.
Yeah, and it's like pureed smoothie over the top of it, and he has like 96 pills a day, and he's crazy. You need to look into him if you're not.
I did.
Yeah, no, I have. I just don't know any I don't know enough about it. I just knew what was going on.
Oh yeah.
How old is he now then?
45, 50?
5.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Benjamin Button stuff.
Yeah.
He's had some of his son's blood plasma inserted in him to help with the.
Careful.
Brilliant.
And we're just going to cut now. But that's a real story. That's genuinely what happens. So I did watch the documentary and it freaked me out. He has so many minutes of sunlight, but no more because it ages your skin.
Yeah, but that's crazy. Fair play.
His training's pretty wild. If you watch some of his training videos, he does it. It's essentially all HIIT, but it's like one station, and it'll be like an hour long. But he only does like one set of everything, and I think it's always to failure. And he just like goes hell for leather for an hour at all these different stations. But I mean, he's doing it all backed off research, so you know there must be some validity in what he's doing.
I guess it stimulates growth hormones and stuff.
Yeah, and
I love it.
It's clever. Isn't
I think it's great.
Fair play. If he
He's
lives
got
to
all that money.
Well, David Attenborough's 100, so today.
Today is his birthday. Yep. Not when this podcast released.
Not when this podcast is released, but
a few
today.
weeks. Yeah, a few weeks ago. Yep.
Yeah.
We went off in a bit of a tangent there.
I love a tangent.
Yeah, me
that's
too.
absolutely fine.
I mean, the other numbers to answer your question. So you know, currently active caffeine. So that takes into account. It will take into account the day before too, because obviously it's still processing a lot of that.
Oh, I dropped to 99% boost.
Yeah,
just to let you all know.
So that'll be.
Is that based on the last time you had caffeine?
I had caffeine 7 hours ago.
Oh wow!
I am a tough.
Oh,
guy.
and you just scanned your eye? No, this is.
I didn't scan my eye.
Okay.
I just told
that would be cool.
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? 7 hours ago.
Is that the last time you drank coffee?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that shouldn't be 99 then. That should be. It's saying post-peak 99%. Bug.
Ah, okay. So I am.
This is
the placebo. I'm on placebo 99.
No, this is an app bug. It shouldn't say 99. It should say essentially nothing now, because that's a mismatch between like 99% of the current boost. It shouldn't have 99%.
So it's, the graph's correct, but the number's wrong. Because the graph is dropping, and that's what I thought. I'm low now. I should be thinking about having a top up, right?
I agree. Let's go for it.
We've got caffeine gels.
Yeah.
From our podcast partner, Protein Rebel, where you can get 15% off if you use Ask the Coach 15.
This is the reality of app development, to be honest.
Yeah,
you know,
fair enough.
On mine, I've never had that issue.
Really?
But
I'm a special case. To be fair, at work, we develop websites, and I am the king of finding faults and breaking stuff. It's normally on my phone that a website breaks. So
it's
hacked.
Yeah,
I think I think that they've got me pigeonholed as the guy that likes to complain. So
that's fair.
Yeah. You don't think that about me, though, do you?
Oh no, not at all.
I've actually seen my phone number in his phone. I'm called Whingy Whiny Brad.
No, he hasn't got a name. He's just called Coffee.
Yeah, coffee. It was
just the number. Just the number.
+44. Oh, I've been +44 here. I've got this exercise I was going to take you through quickly, just to sort of test you both a little bit.
Yeah.
So we've talked about, caffeine and how it affects you. I'm going to describe something, a type of drug, essentially. I want you to try and guess what drug this is.
Oh my! How?
It's caffeine.
What kind of drug? What kind of drugs are we going with here? Class A or?
Well, just see if you can work it out.
Oh my days.
This particular drug, I'm going to give you 4 clues. Okay. So its chemical classification is a crystalline alkaloid. So Joe already knows what this is now.
Nope.
It can break the blood-brain barrier. So if you know much about how, you do. Perfect. I'm not going to have to explain that to you. You can become physically dependent on this drug. So some drugs become mentally addictive. Some are physically addictive. This is a physical dependency drug. And in pure concentrated form, a single tablespoon would kill you.
My date? No idea. Oh my God.
Is it legal?
It's legal.
It's legal. A whole tablespoon.
A whole tablespoon would be enough to kill you.
Nicotine?
I wanted to see if you could. So I'll take nicotine as a guess, and then I'll let Dan have a go.
Yeah, no. Maybe. Yeah, nicotine?
It's caffeine.
No way.
It's caffeine.
I guessed caffeine.
You did guess it because you basically worked out where my brain was going with this. But basically, the way that you could never really drink enough coffee for that to be true. So in powdered form, obviously caffeine can be highly concentrated.
It's happened as well.
So I've got a story on this.
Yeah.
In 2021.
Yeah.
So a PT called Tom Mansfield mistakenly took what was essentially 200 cups of coffee worth of caffeine in a pre-workout and died the same day.
Yeah.
So basically, caffeine is that strong.
Yeah.
A tablespoon could kill you. I thought that was
what was on the ban list.
As far as I'm aware, somebody in Australia years ago died from a gram of caffeine. He mistook.
He said it might have been a gram of something else. No, I'm joking. But
I think he mistook. So he had caffeine in its powdered form as a supplement.
Is that? Yeah, that's I guess because you would put that in a pre-workout. That's how it works, right?
Yeah. People make their own pre-workouts. I used to do it with like citrulline malate and stuff, right? So you do caffeine, citrulline malate, a little bit of L-theanine, and I think he used to do dextrose. I used to make my own. But he mistook probably something for the caffeine, did a gram. I mean, a gram doesn't sound like a lot, but obviously in a single hit, that's a lot of caffeine.
It's like 1,000 milligrams.
Yeah, 1,000 milligrams. That's a lot of caffeine
in
a single hit. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a painful way to go.
So that's like me hitting double espresso on my machine 10 times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even fit in a cup, man. Yeah. That's crazy.
So physically it's really hard to actually overdose on it in a liquid form anyway.
Weren't people doing this kind of thing on Instagram where they were pouring like monsters, like 5 monsters into like a bowl and then drinking it? I've seen stuff like that before.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that before.
I mean, same thing, right? It's close to a gram.
Yeah, literally. I seen a guy, he used to drink out of a boot. It was a glass boot, but he'd like pour like 5 monsters into it and then just like down it.
Yeah.
Again, it's not even a gram though, is it? That?
No, so it looks worse than it is.
Yeah,
it's close. Like 5 monsters would be like
800.
Yeah, maybe he knew.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
maybe he always knew that while it was, and maybe he was always like would always just be.
You're giving him too much credit there. You're giving far too much credit.
Yeah. He doesn't sound like a guy that wouldn't necessarily.
He didn't seem like a guy who would know. I must be honest. Yeah. Well, I'll have to try and send it you.
A man drinking Monster out of a boot.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I make time to watch that.
Yeah.
Honestly, Dad, thanks so much, mate.
I mean, it is scary. And when you were saying just, that the caffeine headaches are real, and that's essentially the blood flow coming back to the brain, because it is it's a constrictor of the blood vessels. So, when you stop drinking it, you get all this extra blood flow to the brain, and that's I guess one of the reasons I've decided to come off it, drinking it habitually, because I want to have a good. I mean, I'm doing a lot of mental stuff at the moment, and I'm trying to rearrange all my training so I can focus better. But I don't know the full long-term implications of not having that blood going to the brain. So I'd like to know more about that, and that's hopefully it'll surface in the app at some point. I said, we're trying to figure out at the moment how we individualize people's half-life.
Yes.
Because for me, it's probably about 5 to 6, but for some people it could be 90 minutes.
Wow.
What's interesting, if you smoke, it's considerably quicker. And it's weird because I always associate, like a heavy smoker with somebody who drinks a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
And they do. And
it's like a swap out.
Yeah.
If you're not drinking coffee, you're having a smoke.
Drug, isn't it?
So it's like bang, 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 bang. Yeah. I mean, usually instant coffee, which isn't great for you.
No.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. So so the concentration of caffeine in an espresso versus instant is quite different.
Yeah.
How so?
It's to do with the way it's refined. I don't know the exact science behind it, but it's to do with the way it's refined. But it's like the caffeine in energy drinks. It's produced a different way. So you do have like I'm not going to say organic, but I guess organic of caffeine that comes from a bean. But then you also have this, I can't remember the term for it now, but it sounds something like freeze-dried. It's not freeze-dried, but it sounds like that. And that's the caffeine that they'll put in...
the powdered form.
Yeah, that they'll put in energy drinks.
Yeah, not just some like Nescafe.
And I had some kid commenting this on the Instagram, I was putting posts out, and he asks something like that. And he said, there's different types of caffeine. And I was like trying to explain to him, like, think about what you're saying. It's just caffeine. There's different ways.
No different types of caffeine. There's
just caffeine.
Caffeine is caffeine.
Yeah.
It might be
produced differently.
Yeah, sourced.
Yeah.
Not even sourced. It's a bean.
But the molecule's the same.
Yeah. It's caffeine. It's a stimulant.
Yeah.
We make caffeine now as a society. So we actually produce it as a molecule, and that's how we get it into Coca-Cola and stuff.
I'm not surprised, mate. Do you know how many cups of coffee are drank a day?
I should look
around the world?
Yeah.
Oh, a billion.
Hang on a minute. It's cups of coffee per day. So we've got
just cups of coffee. So think
8 billion people of a coffee drinking age, so 4 years and above.
4 years and above,
and average cups per day could be...
It's got to be a billion.
A billion a day. I'm going to say 3.
2.25.
Oh! So I win just about. Not that it was
2.25 billion.
That's mad, isn't it?
That's wild.
I am going to open a coffee shop.
We've discussed this.
Or build a caffeine related app, right? I mean,
or build a caffeine
because that doesn't take
or sell
into
protein
account.
coffee that's
exactly
measured to it's 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
What's the code?
ASKTHECOACH
20, and you'll get 20% off. I feel like I've got a voice for advertising.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I sound like one of them really annoying.
That was an advert.
Oh, was it?
No, I didn't realise.
No, I don't think so. It's organic.
What's the saying? Voice for radio. No.
Face radio.
Face
radio.
radio.
Definitely got a face for radio.
All right, we're not having him back. Okay, I've got a sort of multi-choice quiz here as well.
Cool.
which is basically which of these contains more caffeine.
Oh, good.
There's a couple of rounds here. Yeah. Okay. So, standard mug of instant coffee, 200ml, or brewed filter coffee, 200ml.
Filter coffee.
Oh, yeah, instant, just because.
Okay, let's find out at the end.
At the end.
No, I'm joking. It is the filter coffee. wait 10 answers. Yeah. Okay. In a head-to-head comparison, which of these has a higher caffeine content? A standard can of energy drink, so again, an average energy drink, which is 250ml, or a single shot of espresso. We discussed this on the show.
Oh, energy drink.
Well, 250 energy drink's going to be
250ml because Monster's 500.
Oh, yeah, so it'll be very close then. Depends which Monster you have.
It depends.
It depends. On average, what would be your gut?
Oh, let's go with the energy drink because
they're 140-ish.
Just so it's like 70 versus 60 in this question.
Correct. Well done, guys. You're doing really well. Someone's like, you know what you're talking about, you two. I don't know why I'm
It's a good job, isn't it?
That's it. Which of these tea variants has more caffeine per cup?
Good one. Black
tea or green tea?
Green tea.
What? It's one of those questions that's poised to go, isn't it? So,
black tea.
You think black tea? You think black tea? You think green tea? I can tell you that it is black tea.
Yeah. What's interesting about green tea though is it has naturally L-theanine in. So
yes.
And
there's different caffeines, right?
There's one caffeine, but there's well, that's what we were talking about before. There's like different ways it's produced.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So
like
variants of that are in different parts of the world or something. That's my understanding of it. I'm just chatting. No, we're just telling me to shut up. It's fine.
I mean, people consume it in various
forms.
Or get it from various sources, but ultimately it's caffeine. Caffeine's the molecule.
That's what I meant.
It has the same
That's
job.
What I meant. That's what I said, yeah.
I mean, I know a few people that drink green tea and they don't seem to get the adverse effects because of the L-theanine, and that's essentially L-theanine's job.
Some teas I feel like have more caffeine than coffee, but I always feel like an espresso hits me harder than any tea I could ever drink ever.
Yeah.
I don't drink a tea and think, right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I bet if you gave it up for a week and you did...
concentration as well.
But yeah, it's a fun fact that green tea does have caffeine. I think people think it's just some holistic little herbal thing.
That's why people drink it, or classically drank it for weight loss.
Detox
it stimulates it,
which of these then has higher caffeine? Regular Coca-Cola or Mountain Dew?
Mountain Dew, fact.
You think so?
I know.
I think Coke. I don't think Mountain Dew had caffeine in.
Mountain Dew?
Really?
Wow.
How much?
It doesn't tell me on this quiz. I'm going to come back to
I think it was quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah, it's mega.
Do you know what really caught me out a few months ago? And it sounds daft, really, but Lucozade Energy, I didn't realise that had caffeine in. I just thought it was...
sugar?
Yeah, I just thought it was sugar. I mean, Lucozade Sport, of course, I wasn't expecting that, but I just didn't think that Lucozade Energy, and that's got about 50 milligrams of caffeine in. I mean,
54
for a...
Mountain Dew.
Okay, 54. About 50 for...
Per 100.
No. Per 100.
For like 250, isn't it?
330 or whatever, the can size.
Oh, sorry, yeah. 330.
Which of these chocolate treats contains more caffeine? Milk chocolate or 70% cocoa?
Yeah, 70% cocoa.
Is that where the caffeine comes from?
I think it's from the cocoa itself.
Yes.
Or the cacao itself.
The cacao.
Cacao
nib.
Yeah. I've got to say cacao, I can't say cocoa.
No, because it's different.
Well, no, because cocoa's like
a
hot chocolate.
The cacao
is what makes
chocolate.
It's a good job this podcast is called Ask the Coach and not Ask Brad.
That's the guy who made the quiz.
Yeah.
No, actually, I got some help making this quiz.
Yeah.
My mate
good
AI.
Old Claude.
Yeah. This is actually Gemini. Okay, so which of these hot beverages has more caffeine? Hot chocolate or decaf coffee?
Hot chocolate.
I don't know.
They're hard because it depends, right? It's like what was is it powdered hot chocolate? And then I'd say probably decaf coffee.
Yeah, because if it comes out of the can, but if it's like real hot chocolate, made from cacao nibs,
decaffeinated coffee.
Yeah.
Because again, I think if you had like a dark
case by
chocolate
case, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So
decaf coffee, it can be naughty because I think it only has to have less than 90% of the caffeine for them to be able to qualify as decaf.
It's typical, isn't it? Just sort of advertising laws and stuff. That it's just they just cross the line and go, it's decaf.
Yeah,
it's actually decaffeinated.
It's less. We're just giving you a bit
less caffeine.
Yeah.
And then which roast would give you more caffeine typically? A dark or a light?
Oh, light just to be.
I would
just to go back.
I assume dark based on the fact that dark, right?
Yeah.
I think it's dark, but it might be like it's something to do with the roasting process. I think it either adds more or takes it out.
Slightly more in light.
Yeah.
How random is
You
that?
wouldn't know that, would you?
Doesn't make any sense to
If
me.
it wasn't a quiz.
Maybe the longer it's heated up to be roasted, the more caffeine it escapes.
Which is interesting because that's why the brewed filter coffee has more caffeine. It's technically the same amount, but it's just because you brew it for longer. That's why it ends up with more caffeine.
Oh, that's another reason that cold brew is the strongest, right? Because it's the contact time with water that extracts the caffeine. When I drank a cold brew, undiluted, I was high. Like, I literally necked a bit of this cold brew, and I was like, I feel like I need to sit down.
As in, like, from a can or when you make it?
Oh, I made it. So I brewed cold brew overnight.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Overnight cold brew.
Yeah,
and I was like, that is syrup.
I mean, I got spiked the other day, and I will say I got properly spiked. So
spiked.
Oh god, yeah, properly spiked with caffeine. So obviously, I've had like 4 or 5 weeks off now, and we went to Starbucks. I was on the road driving up somewhere, and I always like stress decaf, and I bought. Have you seen they do these protein iced coffees at the moment?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Starbucks do one, don't they?
Yeah. So it's like 15 grams of protein. I just thought, for the sake of a little extra bit.
It's not 20, but
for the sake of it, a little bit
21
extra protein.
Yeah, that's it.
I get a protein coffee. What a product! And it turned out it wasn't decaf, and I was just drinking away. I didn't realise. I thought,
I feel
good.
good.
Wired here, yeah.
Driving down, tunes on.
for a large one of those, there's a quad espresso.
Oh,
4 single espressos.
Boom! No wonder everyone feels pumped after that.
But you had a relapse moment, mate. That was class.
Oh god, yeah. But how few people understand that?
Yeah, they
because if I sat here with somebody who was, the one thing that I found with building clarity and talking about caffeine is I know it's going to do well and help people because people get so triggered by the conversation.
Yeah,
it's so defensive, right? And if I was to say to them, right, you're going to have a quad espresso now, they I can't drink, that's too much caffeine.
It's a lot of caffeine.
But if you gave them a large latte from Starbucks, they just drink it.
It's a coffee dessert, isn't it, basically?
It's the same thing, right? Yeah. It's just made up differently with milk or water. And
it's masked in sugar, essentially. Right?
Yeah.
Sweeten the milk, put some syrup in it, and then crack on. This podcast is brought to you by A1 Physique. Now, all throughout these episodes, you'll hear Coach Dan and myself talk about the importance of recovery for your training. Nothing better than collagen for instant recovery from really intense workouts. Ligaments, tendons need repair, and by encompassing this in a morning daily coffee, it becomes the easiest supplement to add into your daily routine. Available from our website, free shipping, and each cup is giving you 21 grams of that nourishing collagen protein coffee, perfect for athlete recovery, and endorsed by Coach Dan himself. We've got 3 questions left in this quiz, guys. We're doing shit. Okay, so which preparation of tea usually has more caffeine? Brewed for 5 minutes or brewed for a minute?
Honestly, if I was listening to this right now, I'd be like, God, this podcast is really going downhill.
Brewed for 5, surely.
It's contact with water, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boom, we're correct.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what these are. I don't know if it's a good question. I'm going to skip this question because I don't even know what those things are. So no one's going to know what that is. Okay, and then last one. You got iced drinks now.
Okay.
2 iced drinks.
Nice.
Which one has more caffeine?
Okay.
A iced black tea that you make yourself, or a iced green tea that is commercially bought? Dan hates these questions today.
That's a mad question. My answer is it depends, right? That's.
Oh, I really hope it's the iced green tea.
It's the black tea, guys. I don't ruin it for you. Yeah. Did you like that quiz?
They were savage, some of them.
Honestly.
Basically, what I feel like it did, though, is it showed how uneducated you can be.
That's very true.
So just to link it back to Joe and Clarity, the whole point of Clarity is like it's an education, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
the bottom line is, and that's what I tell everybody, it all starts with awareness. You can optimize your intake, but ultimately, if you don't know what you're consuming already, you need to start there. And what you find is people, they start using the app, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, yeah, whoa. And because we've got the Apple Health integration as well, they're actually seeing, oh, okay, I'm having this much caffeine still active in my system at bedtime. And, if you go off the rule that they say 50 to 100 milligrams is safe for sleep, I mean...
Oh, yeah, so that's brand new, that's new information to me.
And
I'm going to have a shot of coffee before bed.
Oh, mate, I get that a lot as well. You know, I can have an espresso.
No, it's not what I do.
Yeah, but I do get that a lot. You know,
I definitely have never gone to sleep thinking I'm like buzzing with caffeine.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah,
never ever. I do know some. I had a friend. He's still a friend. But like he used to have a cup of coffee at night.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, "What?"
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "You don't?" And I'm like, "Maybe a tea."
Yeah.
You know, I might have a tea to like wind down. It's quite British, isn't it? I don't really do it anymore, but I used to. And what's in tea? Like 50?
Yeah, about 50.
Which is like normal. Like you said, it's normal. So having that in your system. But surely, if you had 0, that's got to be better.
Yeah.
I would say so. I mean, I do now. Yeah. I have 0 when I go to bed.
It's not necessary.
Wow, no, you probably got about 100% on yours thing.
Yeah, no, but it's down, isn't it? It's really low now.
Yeah.
Bedtime impact, it says 29. That's guessing that I'm going to bed at about 10.
It's actually a bit wider than just the amount of milligrams that are in your system. It's actually like how well your body is processing that adenosine.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get to bed, you want the day's adenosine to be like its peak, and you're literally like falling asleep. Obviously, caffeine essentially blocks the processing of adenosine in the brain. So that's why you get this crash. It comes back in a flood, and it always comes back in a flood, so you just keep topping it with caffeine. But the problem that a lot of people have is they've been drinking caffeine all day, and it doesn't necessarily line up with their bedtime. So that's why I can drink an espresso and go to bed. Yeah, you can, but you might wake up in the night. But even if you don't wake up and you can get to sleep, your sleep quality is going to be way worse. That there's no two ways about it, and that's what I get a lot of the time. Caffeine doesn't affect me, and I always have to sit them down, like, right, you are a human, correct? And yeah, I'm a human.
You are a biological human.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I can tell you
it does. I have an app.
Yeah, I've got an app. I'll get an app. Let me show you. But I mean, we're out there. We're growing at the moment. We've got some big things coming. We want to get down into the physical products as well. You said about the gels and stuff, and there's a plan for that. The app itself is very much like the starting point for me. There's other things going on, but I mean, we're hoping to get. I guess the big push now is get all these verified brands in, because obviously we've got you guys. You are the featured brand at the moment. We've got the protein coffee. We've got Contact Coffee. We've got Arctic Coffee. People don't necessarily know who Arctic are until I show them the logo, but they're in Tesco.
I recognise them. Yeah.
If you go into Tesco, they're everywhere. They're on board too. So I'm currently pushing the message of, we want to get, if you know the caffeine content of your drinks, get them in the app. It's free real estate. We're gonna spotlight you for knowing, and hopefully one day we'll have that. We'll be the world's first data set of actually verified caffeine products, because it doesn't exist at the moment. Yeah. And I guess that's the bottom line with Clarity. We are answering the so what's to caffeine. It's not about quitting. It never has been. I've never been down that route with the app. It's always about how can you use caffeine more effectively. And as you see, when you set the app up, it asks you what are you optimizing for, or what are you trying to use the app for? Is it mental performance, physical performance? Do you just want to have better general well-being? Because too much caffeine intake, especially if you're unaware of how much you're drinking, can be related to symptoms of anxiety or that sympathetic nervous system response. So they live in fight or flight. I get that with too much caffeine. 100%. To be honest, I do.
I get a bit of it if I delay my training.
Yeah.
So if I'll have a coffee and then I don't know, I just get into work and I keep working.
Yeah.
And I'll work for so it'll be 90 minutes from when I've had it.
Yeah.
I start to get this weird it's not jitters, it's like an anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like my body has.
You normally use this energy, Dan. Yeah.
That happens quite often. My heart starts to race a little bit. It's almost like we should have been applying ourselves by now, but you've delayed it a little bit. And then I go to train. It takes me 5-10 minutes to settle. But if I have it and get out, within that 30 minutes to an hour, I'm fine. But if it's delayed a little bit, I almost then start to get hungry. So because I guess everything starts to go back to normal a little bit.
I can relate to you on that one, mate.
I mean, naturally, I'm quite introverted, and it might not come across that way, especially for this. But I am quite introverted. I do spend.
There's only 3 people in the room.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
And the millions watching it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But,
sorry.
Ultimately, the thing that I found, especially with reducing the intake and timing it a little bit better, is that just going out and doing various things. I deliver a lot of training, or stuff like this. It's just almost taken in the stride, as opposed to getting worked up and getting, I would say, anxious feeling or nervous, whatever you want to call it. But I just don't get that.
That's good.
It's really cool. I mean, I will be absolutely zonked later. I'll get home and I'll just crash because Yeah,
It's a high octane
because you
thing
had a Starbucks protein coffee
4 days ago. Yeah, and I'm still seeing the effects of it. Yeah,
those 4 shots are really like hit hard.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Hopefully we've inspired lots of people to take this into their stride as they go forward. So where can they get this app, and how would you recommend they go about getting it now?
Yeah, so I mean, the app's live on the iOS App Store at the moment. So Clarity Caffeine and Focus, you can find it. Download the app. We've created a code, so anyone listens to the podcast, if you go into the essentially redeem a code in the App Store and just put in Ask the Coach, all one word, you'll get a month free. There's a free 3-day trial anyway. Costs you less than a cup of coffee, and you get a way better relationship with caffeine. There's loads of good stuff in the app. I won't give away too many of the features, but you know, it's very much data driven and will help you get a better relationship with caffeine, understand its effects on sleep, and hopefully, you know, ultimately for the listeners to this podcast, hope you perform better.
Yeah,
there we go. What a beautiful way to end today. Joe, it's been amazing having you in, mate. I hope
really
I've learned loads about caffeine, and so has Dan. And we'll continue to use the app.
Yeah.
I'll continue to report back to you how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time,
and any
mate.
feedback as well, you know, Clarity Caffeine and Focus across all socials, just drop me a DM. Any feedback?
Will do. Thanks, mate.
Cool.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, guys.